Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Sheng. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has successfully extended his rule. He has surrounded himself with his confidants who occupy all the top positions within the party and the state apparatus. Using direct and forceful language, Xi consolidated his hold on power and projected a strong and ambitious China to the world. But the facade of a confident Xi masked his anxiety. Xi sees China facing intensifying security threats, a hostile United States, problematic relations with its neighbors, and the Chinese army still has a long way to go to become a force capable of fighting and winning local wars, never mind larger conflicts. Indeed, Xi's insistence on Chinese military strength at the Party Congress was in truth an admission of weakness. China cannot yet defeat its rivals, and Beijing knows it. During his speech at 20th CCP Congress, Xi depicted a China under threat. The circumstance has been so different than last Congress only 5 years ago in 2017. At that time, China still enjoys a favorable external environment for development. Now, in Xi's own words, risks and challenges are concurrent and uncertainties and unforeseen factors are rising. Beijing now needs to prepare for worst-case scenarios and guard against a range of potential dangers, including unforeseen but drastic black swan events like COVID-19 pandemic and more plausible gray rhino events for which China is not prepared, say Taiwan declaring its independence. In the meantime, Beijing needs to counter external attempts to blackmail, contain, blockade, and exert maximum pressure on China. From Chinese Communist regime's point of view, the United States is the main driver of China's security concerns. Beijing sees numerous threats emanating from the US. For example, potential interference in its domestic affairs, particularly relating to Taiwan, US support for countries in China's backyard, the growing US military presence in the broader Indo-Pacific region, active US coalition building such as AUKUS Quad to contain China's rise, and US efforts to delay and undermine Chinese advances in science and technology. Most of China's neighbors are not friendly. Many neighboring countries are dealing with external or internal challenges that could spill over and threaten China's security. Afghanistan, Myanmar, North Korea, Pakistan, and Russia are all largely on good terms with China, but have internal security challenges and troubled relations with the United States or with key US allies or partners. China remains locked in territorial dispute with India, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Despite its firm hold over Chinese society, the Chinese Communist Party remains obsessed with possible challenges to its political control, fearing that unforeseen domestic turmoil looms around the corner. This explains Xi's driving force to modernize Chinese military. In a time of uncertainty and insecurity, Xi needs the PLA to be better prepared and stronger. In the recent Party Congress report, he asked the PLA with achieving the same three-stage military modernization plan with targets set for 2027, 2035, and 2049. Chinese sources are vague on what precisely the PLA needs to do by then, other than pursue breakthrough technologies, update its doctrine, and use its resource more efficiently. Some US officials believe that Xi also expects the PLA to be ready for a large-scale operation against Taiwan in 5 years. That might be true, but the report to the Party Congress offers no evidence that Xi hopes to be able to strike Taiwan anytime soon. The report focused on the longer term, with goals for the PLA in 2049 to become fully modern and world-class, that is, on par with the United States. For Xi Jinping, the PLA is responsible to shape China's security posture, deter and manage crises and conflicts, and win local wars. The 20th Party Congress report included several key areas of emphasis for the military in line with these goals. Beijing has not fought a war since 1979 and has no experience with modern joint operations. Real-world tensions like those that flared with Taiwan in August provide the PLA opportunities to sharpen its skills, helping the Chinese army get to know the terrain of a possible future war. China has also run its soldiers through more rigorous and even combat-realistic training to counter the so-called peace disease. The report to the Party Congress also calls for strategic deterrence of China's rivals. Rather than fighting the United States head-on, Xi would prefer to deter or limit U.S. intervention by convincing U.S. officials that the military costs of any intervention against China would be unacceptable. Beijing is closely watching how Russia has managed to hold off any conventional U.S. and NATO military involvement in Ukraine. In the report, Xi refers to a desire to build a stronger strategic deterrent force system composed of nuclear weapons and non-nuclear systems such as cyber weapons and missiles that can strike targets in space. Of course, Xi expects the PLA to be able to fight and win wars if called upon. He promised to intensify troop training and enhance combat preparedness across the board. Beijing is also now placing more emphasis on developing cutting-edge technologies, including advanced unmanned drone systems, big data analysis to improve the speed and accuracy of decision-making on the battlefield, and hypersonic missiles that may be able to evade enemy defenses. It remains to be seen how the PLA can maintain access to advanced technology for next-generation military platforms that are critical to be on par with the United States. The Party Congress advocated more robust cooperation between the civilian science and technology sector and the PLA. Such cooperation is already under stress from global supply chain difficulties as well as COVID-19 lockdowns. It could be further short-circuited by the Biden administration's decision to limit the export of advanced technology to China. The Biden administration's recent curbs on the sale of microchips by U.S. companies and third parties to China is just the beginning. Much of Beijing's success will depend on its ability to increase self-efficiency in key technologies that Washington seeks to deny it. Xi's assessment that China faces mounting external threats is driving Beijing's desire to build a more capable military. But the long list of tasks and the challenges facing the PLA should reassure outsiders that Xi is not eager to start a significant conflict with any of China's neighbors in the next year or two. But the PLA is likely to be more assertive in advancing Chinese interests and engage in more acts of coercing along its periphery. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.